Alright, this video is in response to Scott Giard. So I'm going to come in here with my solder and I'm soldering a resistor into this board, and I'm not using any flux. And I've soldered that resistor with no flux. Now I have flux in the core of my solder, and he said that, you know, my joints aren't shiny. You can see the reflection of my finger in that joint. That's a no flux joint. You can see my finger waving back and forth. See? I can see my camera. I can see my lights. I can see everything in that solder joint. It is a shiny joint. Now, I'm going to go to one buttered with flux. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to go a lot easier. Actually, it didn't go a lot easier. I guess my solder doesn't like that flux. Oh, now let's wipe the flux off of there. You get a pointer. This is the flux joint here. This is the not flux joint here. You can see the reflection of my screwdriver moving in that. This one with flux. This one. It's not even as shiny as the one I didn't use flux on. This is the one I didn't use flux on. I think it has to do with lighting, Scott. You know, I wasn't operating all the lighting on my camera gear, but you can clearly see that's a shiny joint. There's a reflection. You've got the cone beating up to where the resistor tail was feeding up through this practice board. You can see the reflection of this driver in that solder joint, and I haven't even cleaned it up yet. You know, and then we come over here to this dull looking joint, which I did with flux. You know, I'll try and polish it up with a Q-tip. We'll see. All right, so here's the two joints again. This one was the one I did without any flux. This is the one that I did with flux. The one with flux looks dull and gray, but it also depends on the lighting. If I go this way, you can see it's shiny. It depends on the lighting. This is the one that I did with flux. Way too much solder there. I'll agree there's way too much solder on there. But, you know, this joint that I did without flux is shiny. If you look at it straight on, or if you look at it at an angle, does it look shiny there? No. Does it look shiny here? Oh yeah, it's reflecting light. It looks very shiny. So some things, Scott, are a matter of perspective and lighting and video. And, you know, if my joints don't look shiny and you're upset that I'm not using flux on every joint, I am using flux core solder. I don't necessarily like gooping on flux on all my joints, especially not when I start working on the proppy board. But at any rate, I usually don't like doing video responses like this, but kind of felt I had to on this. This is for Scott Giard. Thank you everybody for watching, as usual. I really appreciate y'all tuning in on my channel. And as always,